song is called One for the Road by Arctic Monkeys. In the first verse, the first lyric is from the bottom of your heart, which symbolizes someone attempting to be utterly sincere. The next lyric, the relegation zone, relates to football in England, where teams face the possibility of being relegated to a lower division due to lack of points from poor performances over a season. The next lyric, I saw this coming from the start, emphasizes that the narrator is aware of the unfortunate situation that he's in, but does nothing to stop it from happening. In line 5, the cracks in blackout blinds symbolizes a psychological concept. Blackout blinds is a term used when showcasing the fact that blinds prevent people from being able to see what the weather is like outside, which in turn gives them incentive to stay in a certain location. The lyric at the end of the verse, I thought it was dark outside, reinforces the psychological concept of blackout blinds when the narrator claims that he has fallen into the trap of blackout blinds and he has fallen for that psychological concept. In the next verse, the lyric, there's no need to show me around, emphasizes that the narrator is, again, aware of his situation, but also aware of his surroundings and is familiar with them, which shows some history between the narrator and the person he's talking to. In the top verse, the lyrics start out, I knew this would be on the cards I knew you would pull, which is a gambling reference. The narrator is already aware of the unfortunate fate ahead of him, so his way of dealing with it is through gambling, and it's his way of turning his unfortunate situation into a more positive one, trying to bring the light out of the situation through an unhealthy way. In the next verse, the lyric One for the Road, which is also the title of the song, is a phrase used when one is attempting to experience something they enjoy for a little more time. It is also used in order to preserve a memory for the future. In this song, the phrase One for the Road symbolizes the narrator asking for one more drink before he carries on with the rest of his life. In this next verse, the word mixture has a double meaning. First meaning is it refers to an alcoholic mixture, which gives one a dizzy feeling, and the next meaning refers to the narrator's two conflicting personalities, one that's a more nostalgic, more looking back on good times kind of personality, and another that is more chaotic, more expressive of his emotions, and more present, more what he's feeling right at that moment rather than something in the past. The lyric Don't Fall Apart re-emphasizes that he is trying to keep his emotions in check without getting too angry, too upset, or anything too extreme. And the last part of this verse, the out-of-tune guitar and soundtrack to disaster, is referring to something that kind of relates to his audience. An out-of-tune guitar does not sound good to the human ear, and so he's kind of relating that feeling to listening to that out-of-tune guitar with what he's feeling inside at that moment or in this situation, which is why it is a soundtrack to disaster. The speaker of this song is Alex Turner, the lead singer of the band Arctic Monkeys. He's speaking to a girl who has spent time with him but is all of a sudden leaving him, and the song itself goes through his reaction to it emotionally and how he deals with it through other actions. For example, the reference to gambling with the "I knew this would be on the cards and I knew you wouldn't fold" is a way that the narrator deals with the situation through another. Throughout the song, the narrator is speaking towards the girl he's upset with until the song goes to the verse that starts with "the mixture hits you hard." In that verse, he seems to be talking to himself and trying to convince himself, trying to hold himself together. Especially when he says "don't fall apart," he is kind of reassuring himself and trying to settle himself down. There are also quite a few lines in the poem that help relate to certain scenarios which are commonly experienced with his audience. So going back to the gambling, that's something that an everyday person could experience. The out-of-tune guitar is a sound that people have heard before and that people can relate to. And people also know the phrase, "the bottom of your heart." He uses phrases that can relate to his audience so that they can feel what he's feeling at the same time, and it could actually be meaningful. The general atmosphere of the poem is very angry, sad. He's very expressive of these emotions. Because he is truly upset with his situation, and he's also upset with the fact that he, quote unquote, saw this coming from the start, and yet he's still having to deal with the pain and the agony that goes through heartbreak. So it sets the entire mood as a somber, depressing setting. Overall, this poem is about a guy who is with his friend, and this friend can be really inspiring and can always make him feel better and can always help him and makes him enjoy his life. But this friend can also be totally destructive because she knows how to tap into his weaknesses, and she knows how to make sure that he is truly heartbroken and he experiences that pain. The way he copes with the pain is also negative in the fact that he begins to do things that are not good for him, like gambling and drinking. And in a way, this song is trying to tie up this entire situation of chaos into one line, "one for the road," that is kind of concluding this chaotic moment in his life, chaotic time